Good morning, George Carruthers, 1702 West Beach Drive. Mr. Mayor, I request that the city manager not respond to my statements this morning. We have already heard enough propaganda from the city, so I just like my statements to remain as they are. I would like to talk about the Beach Drive multi-use path for change. And for a change, the commission listened to the residents who stood up and said they did not want a 10-story high-rise in St. Andrews. And for a change, the commission listened to the citizens who stood up and said they did not want paid parking. But this commission did not listen to the many who stood up and said they do not want the paths. Some of you are willing to fall on your sword to make this very divisive path project happen. My prediction is, unless you make it go away, it will never go away in the minds of the citizens of Panama City, and it will continue to fester forever. The installation of the bay saver devices may filter out sediments and cigarette butts, but do not filter out pesticides, oils, and other pollutants that will continue to flow directly into the bay. Is this a waste of money? And this is what the citizens are being asked to vote for in the referendum under the guise of environmental improvements. There is a sidewalk from the St. Andrews Marina along 9th Street to Frankfurt. It's essentially the same as the one running along the north side of Beach Drive, but I don't see any grant, any funds, or any plans to turn that into a 12-foot wide path. So the catchphrase of connectivity is just so much political rhetoric used by the city and wannabe political candidates. And this is what the citizens are being asked to vote for in the referendum under the guise of walkability. This referendum is a hoax, in my opinion. You know it, but somehow 3 of you voted for it. I know it, and the people know it. I believe the 3 of you knew that the DOT was not going to transfer the road, including Becca Avenue, before your vote. That would make this referendum a big lie. Based on the state's financial deliberations, if I were a state legislator, I would claw back this grant. But I previously told you about repurposing. Even with the 11-foot lanes, you cannot construct the path east of Balboa. Do I know something that you don't? Make no mistake, all the trees within approximately 15 feet of the curb on Beach Drive will be destroyed. Many over 70 years old. Barren, lifeless, this area will be replaced by 12 feet of concrete. Live oaks, mature palms, and 50-foot pines will be replaced by what? Toothpicks?
Thank you, George.
West Beach Drive.
May I have the first slide, please? What you see in front of you is an exhibit that's been taken from the original grant of over 2 years ago. And if you can stroll down to the bottom of that, you will see that the sum total of the estimate of the cost of this infamous path was $9.4 million 2.5 years ago. I'll call your attention to a couple line items that are in there, not only what's included, but what's excluded. First of the one is on line 311 is miscellaneous stormwater piping structures, 16 each at $30,000 or $480,000. I suspect those are the Barracudas, but I don't know for sure. The second line item you need to look at is on line 2.2, $150,000 for tree removal. And the only landscaping item that's on this list is 13.5, and that's $34,000 in sod. There's no line item on this summary for engineering design, which is now at least $1 million. There's no line item for landscaping for the 227 trees, the 2,000 plants, the grass-type shrubs, and the 80-plus oak trees that are estimated to cost about $500,000. Now, if you're claiming you can do all of this for $6.5 million, somebody needs to reconcile the 9.4 to the 6.5 million, because I smell an awful lot of big overruns on this project. The other thing I got too late to get an exhibit done for, but I had in my hand, and I'll pass it out, a summary of the expenditures on this path. This is through September, the engineering, but through now on the legal expenses. The sum total of this is $1.3 million, and I remind the commission that in 2 different commission meetings, they approved phase 1 and phase 2 for the design for a total of $981,000. This is $125,000 above that spending. I can only shudder to think what's going to happen if we can't control the spending for the design, what's going to happen in controlling the spending for the project. And last but not least, I have a series of questions that I'd like to have answered. Some of them have already been answered. But the first is, have you reconciled the original path cost estimate of $9.4 million with the $6.5? Do you care that the city has spent, as of September 30th, $125,000 more on the design path? And have you discussed this path referendum with the FDOT, and will they care? Is the Bay Saver project...
Thank you. Are you going to request more time, or are you done?
Please.
What?
I'll move the motion to approve.
Was it that signal for a minute?
I didn't put a signal like this.
I thought he was...
I feel kind of unfair. I mean, some
if you give me a
people
full
just
minute,
don't, some don't.
So, yeah, well, what are you asking for?
I'll put any balance back in the bank, okay?
Okay, so what are you asking for, sir?
1 minute.
And Ms. Halleck made a motion to accept that, and I'll second it. Anybody, would you call the roll, please? Ms. Smith?
Commissioner Street?
Yes.
Commissioner Halligus?
Yes.
Commissioner Lucas?
Yes.
Mayor Owen?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
The fourth question is the Bay Saver project dependent on the path approval? There's been some press that says it is dependent, and it looks to me as if it's already funded in this grant. I've seen newspaper articles saying there's another $8 million grant someplace. Will somebody speak the truth about the Bay Savers? And the other is, and this is directed to Commissioner Street, other than the fact that I'm obviously over the target, is there any other reason why you will not answer these questions in public? And now that I have a 30-second left, I appreciate Ms. Hallegus's friendship and her support of at least having an adult dialogue on this subject. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Picken.
Greg Abrams, 234 East Beach Drive. We've been fighting about this path and spending money, wasting money. And I think the engineer fees about $1.5 million now that we've wasted. And Jonathan, in your article, you have met with the DOT and Chevron about the 11-foot path. Could you tell me who you met with?
Mr. Mayor,
Could you tell him who you met with?
you want me to answer now
Please,
instead of at the end?
please. We'll have a little discussion. He's an intelligent man. You're an intelligent
Sure.
man.
I've met with a number of people at FDOT. I've met with Mr. Tim Smith in Chipley, as well as Secretary Philip Gaynor, as well as Secretary Jared Perdue, and also Mr. Carter Johnson was at that meeting as well.
Okay. I've been told by all of them that 11 foot wasn't discussed because I have trucks. 11 foot leaves you 3 inches on each side. Very unsafe. Very unsafe. And it's just, nobody wants this, but y'all keep pushing it. And like having a referendum, and it's not even been planned yet. And has DOT said they're going to give this property to the city? Now, I talked to them this morning, so let's get this clear. Did they tell you they're going to give the city the properties? All I want to know is the truth, because y'all have a hard time, this whole commission has a whole time telling the truth. So that's all I want to know.
I think we've talked about that before, and they've decided not to give the pass, is my understanding. We might as well get this out in the open.
That is correct. They have indicated they don't want to transfer it at this time. They did give preliminary approval to the transfer of the road. That's documented in commission meetings and by communications from them. But instead of transferring the road to us, instead we're working forward on in the process to get a right-of-way construction permit from them and have them review the plans. And I think we've been clear about that, at least over the last couple of months.
Why are you pushing this and nobody wants it? That's what we don't understand, because you don't understand if you mess Beach Drive up, you're going to put so much traffic on Jinx and 11th Street that they can't handle it. You don't know commerce and driving trucks and delivering. That's something y'all not familiar with. You got Patrick Road, you got Chevron, you got Cisco's, you got everybody coming and going, and it's not feasible. And we wasted money. I don't care if it's grant money, send it back. Because somebody's got to pay that grant money back, and that's taxpayers. And it's real simple. You've seen the people sit here and speak. We don't want it, but you just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Now you want to put it for a referendum. Where's that come from? Where does a referendum come from and the city hasn't give you, or the DOT hasn't give you the property? Why you want to falsify to the people that y'all already have this in hand? Tell me. Tell the people. Be truthful. Hell, y'all make Lynn Haven look good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abrams.
I would like to say something to Mr. Abrams.
You want to say it now? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think it's healthy to have discussions.
I was in the Chevron meeting with them whenever Amy came to discuss with us, and she was the one that suggested the 11. Because you're exactly right. I don't drive trucks. I don't know any of that, and so that's where that am I right, Jonathan?
You're correct. We also have a letter from Chevron requesting that the lanes be no smaller than 11 foot. And we've worked very closely with Chevron and with SC Road, with multiple site visits by the design engineer and the director of public works. And we've made modifications to the path. And I'll just point out again, the majority of the ingresses and egresses for Chevron are on the city portion of West Beach Drive, not the state's. And we still work very closely with them on that. We remain committed to commerce in downtown Panama City. We need to identify a more long-term viable truck route into and out of Panama City downtown. We've worked very closely with all the businesses in the Downtown Improvement Board on this, but there is no plan to restrict the trucks along Beach Drive, which is why, again, we're modifying at the FDOT's request the 11-foot width.
11 foot, you can't travel with 3 inches on each side of your mirror. You can't do that.
You know what? I'm not going to argue that.
There's no way
you know where we got it from.
There'll be more accidents. You can't do that. And I've talked to Amy, I've talked to DOT, and Patrick Rowe couldn't be here this morning because he's got to go pick up fuel because the barges can't get in here. He dang sure ain't agreed with it. So somebody needs to get together one meeting so everybody know the truth, because everybody's telling somebody else different. Because I went to Chipley. I've been there twice. Because this is very concerning to me, because I have to pay truck insurance. And 3 inches on each side, there will be accidents. So let's somebody get together here and find the truth out. Because the truth's not one story here, one story there. It's just all tell the truth. That's all I want.
Thank you, Mr. Abrams. I think I'm
telling the truth, just for the record.
I've talked to Chevron, and I don't think they're very happy about 11 feet. I know they told me they didn't want it. So
they sent us a letter.
I have a letter from them on their letterhead that states the 11 foot.
But I want to say a couple more things, because I do think that Mr. Pickin, I think everybody there. I mean, I have to agree. It's been crazy confusing, like everything that's going on. When we first got that grant, they gave it to us. It's like, why would you give us a grant that you're not willing to give us the road? So, I mean, that is really confusing to me. But also is, I think the other confusion is, and I could be wrong about this, but this is my truth that I understand it as, is that the path And no doubt about it, it has to stop at Balboa if there wasn't going to be a transfer of road. And it has to go, because we've talked about it, it would have to go about, well before these guys were even elected. It would have to go at Balboa, and then we'd have to bring it around the Garden Club and go through the old train depot to come back and put it up there. So that is correct if we don't get transferred the road. So I think that they're both true. We could still do a path. It wouldn't be the path that we think would probably be the best to stay along the water, but we could still technically do a path in the right-of-way that is there right now, but it would have to cut up Balboa. So I think that it's not that I know, at least for me, there's no dishonesty there. The path could still be done. Maybe not as big, maybe it'd have to be 6 foot, 8 foot. I have no idea. I haven't looked at all that. And that would cost for more engineering, and that's the truth. You know, so I do want to say that it is confusing, but we don't necessarily need the transfer to do a path. It just wouldn't be one that I think that from the visioning process that people wanted. But you're correct. It's just, I mean, I'm confused half the time on what's going on. So I don't know if you want some more clarity or if you don't care, you're ready to go or what. But
the grant approval and acceptance by this board preceded any talk or request or conversations about the road transfer. The grant application and approval and receiving of it was not contemplating the transfer of the road. That came after the fact.
Okay. I appreciate you saying stuff. I don't want anyone to think I'm not listening and hearing. And
Well, if you need to, because the whole Beach Drive, I got 2 pieces of property on Beach Drive. I've been to all the meetings. I got money invested in lawyers. We don't want it. We can't afford it in the traffic. We can't take care of the traffic in Bay County on 11th Street and Jennings. Would put all the traffic on them, the burden on them. It won't work. When people meet for not wanting this, and y'all keep on pushing it. And like referendum, everybody wondering where this is coming from. That's really embarrassing that y'all even gonna put it up there for referendum, and you hadn't even received the road. That's just not business-like commission. Y'all not running a business. This is a clown show, and everybody's looking at us, and I don't like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abrams. I think he had a couple of other questions, didn't he? We can answer when we're done. Anybody else wish to speak? Yes, ma'am. You can start early, too, if you want to.